Hey, this is Gary at Terra. Thanks so much for joining today for our special Part 2 interview with Joe Hawley of ManVanDogBlog.com. Hopefully you've already checked out Part 1. In Part 1, Joe talked about his transition out of the NFL. He also spoke about in order to find your happiness around in your environment, you have to start with your internal happiness with yourself. And then today we're going to pick up right as he was beginning to talk about dealing with adversity and challenges that pop up along the way. So thanks again for joining. Hope you enjoy the special interview at Terra.
Today's guest is Joe Hawley. Joe grew up in California, went to college at UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. After college, he was drafted into the NFL by the Atlanta Falcons in 2010. He played there until 2015 when he signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and played there through 2018. Over his 8-year NFL career, he had over 50 starts as an offensive lineman, mostly a center. Joe retired from the NFL in 2018. In Part 1, he talked about that decision and also the decision to donate his personal belongings for a simpler lifestyle. He rescued a canine companion from a shelter, purchased a van, and plans to explore the country. So now we'll present Part 2 and concluding segment of that conversation with Joe Hawley of ManVanDogBlog.com, which we hope you enjoy. We'll pick up now as Joe is asked how he confronts adversity on the road and in his life.
There have to be days. I mean, you've started this new journey. You have the excitement of starting out to see these great things. Then you get into it a couple of weeks. You have, bad weather, a mechanical issue. You're missing your family, your friends, a new routine. Have you encountered kind of some issues through that? And if you have, tell me about that. But also how you've gotten through it.
Yeah, there's a few things it's just like anything else. I mean, people think it's so glamorous, but the grass is always greener, right? And so there's definitely days where you're lonely. Living in a van, when I'm at some campsites and it starts raining, you're kind of stuck inside the van, so you get kind of claustrophobic. I got freedom if she's not able to run around. That's kind of stressful too. I've had a few flat tires last year. So things come up, but it's just like everything else. Life throws stuff at you. There's ebbs and flows, and you just got to try and stay neutral through it all. And that goes with working on your inside and your attitude and perspective towards things. And I think if you can be grateful for the little things in your life and find that we all have something to be grateful for, and if you can find that little something, then it kind of makes everything else that much better.
Wow, that's good stuff. That's great stuff. It sounds so easy.
It's not though.
I was going to say that couldn't have come just. You go, okay, here's a flat tire, or freedom can't get out, so there's a little anxiety. You can't just go, oop, I'm going to flip the switch. I mean, is that? Did you find you had to work on that, and is things just slow down that you just allow that to just allow the challenges and obstacles to just work their way through?
Yeah, I mean, it's a process. Like I said, it takes work. It's not like I just wake up and I'm this happy or this content. I mean, I meditate every day. I wake up, early, do some yoga. I take care of my body. I eat right. I mean, I can tell if there's a couple days where I don't do those things. I have a couple cheat meals in a row. I kind of fall off the wagon, as they say. My body starts getting in, I can feel the inflammation. I have these aches and pains, and things start bugging me more. I start getting irritable. So it's a process, and you never really arrive either. Some people think, okay, all of a sudden I'm going to do this program and then I want to be where I want to be and then kind of go back to my old ways. Like, no, it's a practice. It's a process. Every day you have to wake up and try to be better than you were the day before. And if you're not, don't judge yourself for it. But you just got to continue to work on yourself. And that's the biggest thing to, finding true happiness.
That's incredible. I mean, that's just such gold. I mean, it really is. And, especially when, maybe I'm wrong, but as I look back at all the things that you had to do in order to get there, from what you went through. I mean, to get into not only play college ball, which is pretty exclusive, but then to get into the NFL, and then to take that and to shift into something totally different, and still, sit back and appreciate all the little things and the things that pop up in the world. It's pretty incredible.
My journey wasn't easy. I mean, I went through a lot of adversity in my career, a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I was cut twice from the Falcons, and then obviously they didn't re-sign me at the Bucks. Been through a lot of injuries. It took me 5 years to finally become like a true starter, and the fourth game that happened, I blew my knee out. So I went through a lot of stuff, and it's all about perspective. Like I said, if something happens to you and life kind of knocks you down, you can look at it one of two ways. You can feel sorry for yourself, woe is me attitude, and kind of go in the dumps and ask, why is life doing this to me? Or you can take it as a lesson that it should be taken as and learn from it. And everything that we draw to us, all these hardships, we wouldn't become the people that we have the opportunity to become without that. And so those hardships is what's going to mold you into the better person. And those lessons, if you don't learn from them, then you're never really going to get anywhere in life.
Wow, that's perfect. That's great stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of life and living is to how you deal with the kind of challenging things. It's easy to deal with things when they're really awesome, but to shift into that's kind of a skill. And I think as we continue to grow older and experience things, that becomes even more of really where life happens, where life is. And that's great, man. And what a great experience to share that with us, and thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, man, thank you.
So, you've been doing a lot of reading, and I don't want to get the title on this book wrong, but a lot of philosophical kind of reading that you post.
I love it, yeah.
And I looked back and saw early in one of your career videos that you had done some reading and you looked at Penguin's hidden talent. I'm sure you don't remember that, but it was one of your first years with the Falcons, and you were doing reading with the Falcons or something along that line. And you read this book to provide that for the community. Who knows? Who knows how I found a clip of this? I found a clip on YouTube, and it talked about Penguin was really struggling because all of his friends were out finding their hidden talent. What hidden talent do you think you found through this journey over the past year?
Oh man, inner talent. I think I found not necessarily like a personal hidden talent, but what I've found is a lot of universal truths through reading all these different books from all these different authors in different time periods, different genres. And they all kind of have this overlap of what it takes to be happy and what it takes to find happiness. And it's really, like I said before, an inside job. And the power of the mind, I mean, it's incredible. The more I learn about psychology and the power of the mind and what you can overcome as an individual, it's so powerful. And so we have choices that we make every day. And to be able to overcome all those thoughts in the mind and stay positive, and that will turn your world around. As soon as you can figure that out, then I think you can really accomplish anything.
How do you feel like you're in the path to figuring that out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting there, man. I just, I think there's two different kind of mindsets. I forget what the book's called, but they talk about a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, you feel like you know it all. There's nothing really you can do to change your life. You're kind of stuck where you're at. You were born, how smart you are. And the growth mindset is, you can learn anything, a skill. You're constantly growing, learning, and so I've just become addicted to learning. And the more I learn, the more I read, the more I listen to podcasts and listen to these smart people that are a lot smarter than me. It makes me realize how much I don't know. And it's crazy. The more you find out, the more you realize you don't know. And so you just got to keep that glass empty and continue to fill it. And as soon as it gets full, that's when you're going to, kind of fall off the wagon again. You just got to continue to learn and grow. And that's the great thing about life. I mean, the universe is always expanding. And so we're meant to be expanding as well. If we're stagnant and complacent, and not willing to grow, that's when I think we kind of, get upset, get irritable, not as happy, wondering what we're doing with our lives. So I think as long as you're just taking it day by day and learning and growing, that's what it's all about.
Freedom's making new friends over there. So, talking about the learning and new paths, I know you're a couple of weeks away from hitting the road again.
So excited.
I bet. So, what's kind of on? I know you don't want to plan it out too much, but what are you thinking for this year's journey?
So first off, I haven't been up the East Coast yet in my van. I went up the Midwest last year, so. Part of my trip is, since I've been done with football, I've really gotten into baseball. Awesome. I have a little fantasy baseball team, and
Did you play when you were
I never played. Like, I used to hate baseball, but I think it's this subconscious thing where it's like I didn't really watch a lot of football this year because my first year done, I just couldn't get away from it. So, baseball gave me the opportunity to go watch a sport and be entertained with it without really being in football, because I'm just footballed out.
Yeah.
So I plan on going and heading up the East Coast and watching a lot of baseball this spring. I want to go to the Nationals, Baltimore, New York, Boston, and a couple of national parks up there. And then I want to head over, see Niagara Falls, and then maybe hop into Canada for the summer. But I don't like to plan it too much because
Understand.
yeah, if you it's just another element of stress. If you meet people on the road or you have really enjoy somewhere, and it speaks to you, then you just want to have the opportunity to stay there for a little while. So, one of the best parts is hanging out with all the people, meeting new people, and I have a lot of friends and family all over the country, so staying with them as well and just being able to spend time with people I love is very, very, I'm very grateful for it.
Awesome. And that's kind of like a life way to view things, is to have a direction and then just be open to what happens along the way.
Exactly. Don't plan it too much because you got to be able to roll with the punches.
That's it, man. All right, one final question, and I'll let you get back to your day. Tell us a little bit about where we can find you, what you're kind of interested in as far as, I know you have a few business ventures you're going into. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, so you can find me on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ManVanDogBlog. I am starting a company. While I was on, break during the winter, I found this business partner, and we're going to come out with a nut butter line, MCT-based nut butter line, super clean product. Our first product is premium macadamia. It comes out in a couple weeks.
I've tried it. It's just delicious.
It's good.
It's good stuff.
I'm excited. So you can follow us at Live Simple with no E on Instagram, and you can go to livesimplewithnoe.com. Sign up for our email list. We got a pre-sale that we're going to launch here pretty soon, and I would love all you guys to try it and hear what you guys think.
Yeah, please check it out. He's obviously, as you can see, just spent a little time with him. He's a great guy. He's got some great things going on. So I really want to thank him for presenting the opportunity, even letting Freedom stop in and say hello. Thanks so much,
man.
Joe.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed part 1 and part 2 of the interview with Joe Hawley of ManVanDogBlog.com. He gave some really great advice on taking care of yourself, both mentally and physically, how to get out of your comfort zone. And I think one of the most important things was his discussion on, if you want to find happiness around you, you have to start internally with yourself. And that remains a daily practice. So please check out Joe at ManVanDogBlog.com. Also, one of his macadamia nut products that is kind of keto based is at Live Simple. That's no E on simple. .com, or check out other social media. Please also check out www.benchaterra.com, where you can find additional content, blog, hats, and apparel. We really appreciate your support. Find your venture.